Welcome to the Black Pages podcast, where we shine a light on Black-owned businesses making a real difference in our communities. I'm your host, Devyn McDonald, and each week we sit down with one amazing business owner to dive deep into their story, their purpose, their passion, and the impact they're creating. From the challenges they face to the victories they've earned, we're celebrating entrepreneurship, excellence, and empowerment, one conversation at a time. So sit back, get inspired, and let's get into today's interview. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Devyn McDonald. I am the co-owner of Team Wellness. The other owner will be my beautiful wife, Rainisha McDonald, and I am in mental health wellness.
Awesome. When did you officially launch your business?
Officially launched the business in the pandemic, so I believe that was 2020. We launched Team Wellness, and it started off with the release room, which was an area of where people can come and smash things, but also smash things in a way that was very therapeutic. And then afterwards had the option to have a counseling session to be able to talk about the things that may have come up or the reason why they actually came to the release room, and then get positive coping skills to be able to utilize outside of the release room.
So that all is very true, but let's back up a little bit and let's go before Team Wellness was launched. What were you doing?
Before Team Wellness was launched, I was a counselor. I was in mental health. I was a coach, really just being able to help out the younger generation, working in group homes, really being able to pour and help with the mental health with the younger generation.
So you've been a counselor for quite some time.
Yes, a good 15 plus years.
15 plus years. Here's to Black counselors. Who does your business serve and who are your ideal customers?
My business serves everyone, from children to adolescents, to people who are looking for transitions into careers. People are looking for life goals. So it's everyone. And so it isn't an ideal culture, race, or people. It's really everyone, because everyone has times where they struggle with their mental or emotional wellness.
Yeah, it's kind of like an equal opportunity issue. People, different circumstances, pull different things out of different people. And so everybody has probably had a time in their life where they struggled mentally.
Yes. I mean, even myself, right? Because we're all human. And so being able to know that there are people out there that either look like you or have been through things that you've been through and been able to get through those things is always a great thing to have.
And your biggest supporter along the way?
My wife. Just because how we started this business, everything that we had to go through to start the business, to get it out there, whether it was bringing in clients, whether it was finding different ways to reach clients, putting on events. So I will most definitely say, you boo.
Here's to spouses. Hurdle.
I think my biggest hurdle has just been being noticed. I think when you wear a lot of different hats, I think sometimes people just see you as just those hats, from either being a husband, being a father, being a coach, being a counselor. A lot of times people don't realize that I am a counselor and I do have a private practice outside of my normal 9 to 5. So kind of just being really noticed in the community.
And it can be true that when you wear different hats, sometimes people don't want to accept that you can be more than one thing. They kind of want to lock you into one lane and be, and then just mentally, they won't allow themselves to see you as more than a coach, more than however you were first introduced to them. You know, they want to keep you there. So how do you kind of combat that, especially like when it comes to maybe your job or when it comes to coaching? How do you work around those perceptions that people have of you?
One, I just stay confident in who I am, and knowing what I am able to bring to the table, right? And so understanding that, I wear all of these hats, but I am great in all of these hats. And so when there's times that people are talking to me about some of their issues, I let them know, like, hey, I actually do have a counseling practice. And so giving people the opportunity to realize that, yes, they're talking to a coach. Yes, they're going through things, but realizing I can also help more outside of my coaching hat and being able to give them tools and techniques that they can utilize.
Now, do you have it on the other side where people do understand that you're a counselor and so they want to get all these free services from you and they want to chat you up
Yes.
and tell you about their whole life and what's going on and look for you to give them hours upon hours of counseling for free?
Yes. I get that a lot. And I think that's just my personality of just wanting to help people, right? That's just me. And so I also have to let people know in those times that, hey, if you sign up for a session, we can really dive in deeper of what the issue is and being able to get a more understanding of like what you're going through. So then I can help support you better with different tools and techniques.
Yeah, because nobody's working for free.
No.
Nobody's working for free. If you're hungry, you don't get to go and get burgers and fries for free or just a little bit of something for free. And in the same way, the mental health, it is a business and it is necessary. Just like people wouldn't go to a hospital with a gunshot wound and expect to get hours of surgery for free. In the same way, your spirit and your mind has an injury or a wound, and people should not come to you with the expectation that you will give those services for free, because not only did it cost you time in school, but it cost you time and it cost you efforts and energy in other places to be able to offer those services to people. So
Yes.
do you ever feel like some type of way about having, to draw that line to let people know, like, I understand that you're hurting and you need some support, but, I can only do so much?
No, I don't struggle with that, because what I let people know is that what you're telling me is just kind of on the surface. And so in our sessions, you'll be able to dive deeper into what the root of those issues are, or the root of the concerns that you're having. And it's hard to do those deep dive into those true raw emotions at work or at the grocery store or over the phone, right? And so I give people that opportunity to kind of speak of like what they're feeling, but also give them the opportunity to say, hey, if you would like to talk more about this, these are my hours and these are the times you can set up a session or even a consultation, just so you can get a sense of what I do outside of the realms that you see me as a coach or at work or at the grocery store, right? And so giving them the opportunity to be able to see me in my counseling profession.
Who or what inspired you to start your business?
I think it's more of the what. Growing up in Inglewood, California, knowing that it was my sports and my mind that allowed me to get out of those situations. But seeing the things that are going on, especially in the world, and knowing that a lot of people are walking around with mental health issues that they don't know how to get out of. And being able to have the schooling, being able to have the experience and the education and all of those things to be able to provide not only just for my community, but for all people who are in those positions. Because I am a big advocate that no one should suffer in silence, right? And so being able to help all that I can help, as many people as I can help, to inspire them, to give them tools to better their mental wellness.
Where is your business located, and do you serve customers outside of your local area?
Yes. So the good thing with my business is it's online, right? You can find me online. And the good thing is I do online counseling and in-person counseling. So right now, my residency would be Elk Grove, but I also help people that have been in Chicago, right? And so I think that's a good thing. The great thing about my business is it isn't just a local thing. It's also a United States thing.
You stand out amongst the sea of counselors, because I know we have looked for counselors and therapists before, not necessarily for ourselves, but sometimes we look for help for others, for our children, because in our relationship, we faced a lot of loss. We've lost a couple of parents, we've lost various other family members. And sometimes it's good to talk to somebody too, meaning us or our children, because our children doesn't always necessarily want to tell us the things that they have deep inside. They sometimes want to do that with other people. And so looking for counselors, we have Kaiser insurance, and we went through Kaiser, and there are thousands of people to choose from. So what sets you apart, and why should people specifically choose you when they're looking for a counselor?
Well, I think when it comes to looking for a counselor, the biggest thing is being able to be able to build a rapport, but also to be, what's the word I'm looking for? To be able to understand what the client is needing, right? And not to be able to put my own spin or my own beliefs on the client. And the fact that I wear so many different hats, I'm in different arenas, and I'm able to speak to different people at all times, that helps me being able to connect with my client, especially with the consultation, right? The thing that I feel like sets me apart from a lot of people is my consultations are free, right? And they're online. So it's something that you don't have to worry about meeting up or anything of that nature. Like, you're able to have that consultation in your own home where most people feel safe, and all of those things. But the fact that, I do public speaking, so I'm able to not just do counseling for individuals or on a group sessions as couples, but also in a bigger atmosphere of being able to go into schools and being able to help students with their social emotional skills, to be able to help corporations with being able to help them with their understanding of why there are so many burnouts in their corporations, right? And so not only does the counseling piece just offer just for just one person, but it's one of those things that with team wellness, we're able to branch out into other industries.
So I'm hearing that you work with a lot of different kinds of people. You work with children, you work with adults, you work with businesses. How do you deal with the child versus how you deal with the adult versus how you deal with business? Like, how does your counseling change?
Well, my counseling change, it always changes because it's always fitting that client, right? There's no one way to be able to serve a client. So when it comes to children, it's more so of the social emotional skills. It's more building their foundation of being able to understand their feelings, understand their triggers, and then from there, how to verbalize those feelings to other people, to parents, to teachers, so that they are confident in what they're feeling and being able to let other people know what they're feeling, right? And so that becomes a communication thing. So really working with those things with children. And then when it comes to adults, working on their situations that they're in right now, also being able to find out some of their trauma and how that's playing out in adulthood, and for them to be able to get different type of coping skills to be able to utilize in their day-to-day activities. And then when it comes to corporations, it's really helping the corporation with the mental health, with the social help, with the social emotional help of understanding how their staff needs to really start to invest, and how the company needs to invest in their employees when it comes to self-care, when it comes to their mental state, when it comes to their emotional state, so that the company and the employee are now seeing each other as human and not as just dollar signs or employee, right? And being able to understand that the more your employees feel good about themselves, they feel good about their job and they do well at their jobs, and you have less burnouts and less people calling out and all of those things, which then helps dollar signs for, the company.
I'm a firm believer that because I have run a business or two myself, and it is extremely important, number one, to have happy employees, because when your employees are happy, they are more productive and they do a better job. And then they believe in the mission that you have for your business, and it helps them to want to make the mission and the business successful. So, and mental health is a big part of that. Like if you have a bunch of people who are stressed out about food or bills or their kids, like you're just a job and you're not really contributing to the success of their individual lives, then it just really makes it hard to keep your business running smoothly. And so helping a business or owners see that their employees are not productivity robots, and rather they are actual tangible humans who have needs and concerns, is awesome. So it sounds like not only are you working with the management staff, but you're also working with the lower level staff, and you're just helping them come to like a more common ground.
Coming to balance, right? And that's everything. And balance is everything in your personal life and your employment. Balance is everything. And so getting companies to understand there's a balance to it. When you're able to speak to Jeff and Jeff knows that, you care about him, right? Jeff now wants to, move up in the company. He believes in the mission. He believes in the company, and those people thrive, right? And so being able to get everybody on the, not necessarily the same page, but at least in the same book.
What challenges have you faced as a Black-owned business, and were there any strategies that you specifically implemented to overcome?
I think just the challenges I faced as a Black-owned business is just people not knowing or recognizing like what I do as a counselor. And because, a lot of people just see me in different hats. And so for people to be able to notice like what I do, what I'm able to do, is a huge thing for me. Especially just in, I believe in the Black community, we're doing better with this, but, it's still, we're still a little bit behind the 8 ball when it comes to really investing in our mental health, right? Because what we were taught, a lot of us were taught when we were younger, you don't talk about what goes on in the home, right? And
toxic.
Yeah, it's very much toxic.
Let's pretend and let's
just move forward. Right?
Let's move forward, or let's protect the predator.
Yes.
Is a lot of the mindset that a lot of Black people, the older generations, had, protecting the predator.
Yes. And so that is what that has done for the next generation is, well, obviously I don't talk to anyone, so I'll figure this out, right? And you can only figure out as so much that you just know, right? And there's so many different tools and techniques and all of those things that are out there. But if you don't have the access or the resource or the knowledge of it, you depend on other things, right? And so, you start to see why suicide is starting to become at a high rate. And it's because people just they don't have the hope that anyone even cares about them, or that they feel like they're worthless, right? And so being able to know like, oh, there are people that look like me that are in the mental health wellness industry. And it's a male, right? That's one thing that I think it's a great thing for me is I'm not saying there aren't, but there's not a lot of males, Black males in the mental wellness industry. And so with that, I hang my hat on that, on the pride of knowing that there are men that look like me that know that I can help them with their mental health, with their emotional health. And then there's women who look at me and say, he reminds me of an uncle, or he reminds me of a dad, or whatever the case is, that I can help them with their social, emotional, or their mental health wellness. So I think those has been some of the challenges of just kind of what has been taught to us at a younger age. But like I said, we have gotten better as a culture of recognizing mental health is very important. Some of the strategies that I use to overcome some of those things is those workshops, is those opportunities to step in front of businesses or schools so that they know that there are people who look like them that are in the mental health wellness industry, and they're open to helping and providing the need in the community.
Where do you see your business growing or expanding in the next few years?
I see it expanding a lot in the next few years. Honestly, moving more so into the public speaking role of being able to go to more, not only just elementary schools or middle schools or high schools, but able to go to colleges, being able to talk to those students before they're going into the workforce, being able to help them, whether it's their mental health, whether it's their emotional health, or whether it's just them just trying to find goals and careers and transitions, because we all know transitions are hard. And so seeing the business growing that way, being able to do what I do as a counselor in individual or group settings, being able to do those things on a larger scale, on a larger platform, I should say, when it comes to helping people with their mental health wellness. And then from there, just continuously launching the counseling business, so that people know that they have these resources that are out there, being able to connect with other resources in the Elk Grove or the Sacramento area to be able to put on events, wellness events for people to be able to get insight of things, to be able to get different tools and techniques, but also to be able to just get outside and be able just to enjoy the community and knowing how strong the community is around them.
How do you stay motivated and connected to your purpose as a Black entrepreneur?
I think the one source for me is being able to connect with myself, to be able to understand as a Black male, I am important. I am an important person, not only to myself, to my family, to my community, and knowing that the joy I get of helping people, to be able to inspire people, to be able to help people get to their next destination, whether it is finding a career, whether it is getting an understanding of different techniques or tools they can use for coping skills, to be able to understand themselves better, right? Those are the things that give me purpose, because I'm a firm believer that I am in the right industry, that I was designed, that I was created to do, just because I enjoy helping people. That is my source. That is everything, from being a husband, being a father, being a counselor, being a coach. All of those things gives me the opportunity to not only give back to the next generation, but also to be able to help the generation now, and for them to be able to pass down the things that they've learned that has helped them to their children, right? And so that's how, you continue to build the community of, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to emotional wellness, all of those things.
So as we conclude this interview, first of all, thank you for being available. It wasn't like you had a choice. Secondly, is there anything that you would like to leave the audience with?
Yes. Well, first I want to say thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for what you're doing for the Black culture, the community. I think it's very important, and what you're doing, and I'm glad to be part of it. So thank you. So what I want to be able to leave everybody with is, you start talking about all these different hats that you wear, and sometimes you forget some of the hats that you do wear. So as an author, I am an author of 2 books that are on Amazon right now, 31 Days of Positive Affirmation. And what this book is, it gives you the opportunity to invest in yourself, because no one's going to invest in you more than you invest in yourself. No one's going to care for you more than you care for yourself. And no one's going to love you more than you love yourself. And if you're doing those things for yourself, when other people do it, you're able to receive it. You can't pour from an empty cup. So it's your job your job, not your spouse's job, not your children's job, not the job, not any of those things. It is your job to make sure that you are pouring into your cup, that you're investing in yourself, that you're caring for yourself, and that you're loving yourself, so that when you pour from a full cup.
Thank you.